Hi, and welcome to episode 11 with the Red Bra Project. I'm Renee from the project, and I think we just hit live, so I'm going to say that one more time. Welcome to episode 11 with the Red Bra Project. I'm Renee, and my co-host, Shawna A. We actually have two Shawnas tonight, so this is super exciting for me to introduce our guest. But my co-host, Shawna A, had something come up, so that's life for you. And she's not able to make it tonight, but she's doing okay. She's doing great. And so it's going to be Shawna B. Really, her last name starts with B. So I'm here with Shawna Beckmann tonight. Hi, Shawna.
Hi, Renee. How are you?
So great. And it's so awesome to see you here. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on to our show live tonight. It means the world to us.
Oh, of course. I'm super excited to be here, and I really love what you're doing, and I think it's awesome, and I'm really happy to be here.
Oh, thank you so much. So Shawna and I, our universes kind of came across each other about a year ago. And the more that I learned about Shawna, no joke, Shawna, every story and everything I learned, I'm just like, oh my goodness, this woman is incredible. She's amazing. She's, wow, how does she do it all? And I mean, I've not watched you, but I've been a part of your life and watched things and just, oh my gosh, there's so many incredible things I want to tell you, but I'm not going to steal the show from you. I want you to open up with telling us a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you, Renee, for the really nice introduction. My name is Shawna. I'm actually a Midwest native. I lived in Minnesota my entire life, lived there, raised there, went to college there, bought our first house there, met my husband in high school, and we actually had our first two babies there, and he relocated to Connecticut. And so we moved to Connecticut with a zero family and basically added two more babies. So now we had 4 babies in 5 years. And then after 3 years of being in Connecticut, we actually officially set our roots here in Alabama. So now we're living in Alabama with our 5 kids while he does research, and I run sort of a sales coaching business online.
Okay, so first of all, shout out to Midwest girls because I grew up in Ohio. Yep. So that's like a natural connection. Every time you bump into somebody from the Midwest and you find out otherwise, I feel like, oh yeah, you're like, oh yeah, okay.
We're family, yeah.
We have those harsh winters and those humid summers. So yeah, but okay, so 5 babes and you've done Midwest to Connecticut to Alabama. And I remember watching part of that move and it was over the holiday season and all of that. And your littlest is just about 5 months, 6 months almost.
Yep. She's 6 months now. Yeah. So we have 5 kids and they're all under 7. So we've got the 7, 5, 3, 2, and then the 6-month-old. Oh. And the crazy and the crazy thing is that when I was 21, I had ovarian cancer. I had this weird bloating in my belly, and I went in and I was like, oh, I probably just have like some bloating, like maybe I just need some like over-the-counter medication. And they said, no, like your right ovary has a tumor the size of a grapefruit and the left one the size of a lime. So I go in for surgery. Like 2 weeks later, they remove the right, they remove part of the left, they remove lymph nodes, and it's crazy, like really random. I was 21 years old, like happened so fast. And they basically said if we wanted to have children, like we would have to start right away, because if I had been any older, they said they would have just taken everything. So we got married 3 months later, and it took us almost 2 years to have our first baby and almost that long to have the second. And then the next 3 came back to back to back, right in the middle of the moves, like right in between these cross-country moves. So it's been crazy, but it's been good. We always wanted a big family, but having them close together was sort of planned, sort of. So
yeah. Planned but unplanned, the most beautiful thing. I mean, those kids, I mean, hearing this story, just a blessing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's been really like hard for me to talk about sometimes, because like obviously we wanted a big family, like that was always sort of in the cards, but like to share sort of the struggle of like, this is so hard some days. It feels weird because like this is what we wanted, you know what I mean? So
for sure. And I mean, that's one of the things about you that I was instantly attracted to, is just you're open, you're honest, you're genuine. And I mean, I put it in our little summary tonight, but you literally just live authentically you. And there's so many people that say that and want to do that and, you know, are so fearful to, but you really are just you. And I love it.
Yeah, I don't know how that happens. Like, I don't know how to like not do that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how. And maybe that just might be because it's like always chaotic. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like my life is just always sort of chaos, and the chaos is like what holds me together. And so like what you get is just what you get, you know, like.
For sure. Like your chaos is normal. I totally get that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I wouldn't even have time to like think like I wouldn't even have time to like sort other people's opinions when I'm trying to navigate this, my own life.
Yeah. And that's the best. Yeah, that's the best, because, you know, you get so wrapped up in other people's opinions and what people are thinking and what you're doing. It's like, put it all aside, stay in your lane, do your thing. And I mean, it just happens, which, I don't know, kind of takes us into a segue to, you are a super successful sales coach as well. You own your own business, you know, a mom, a wife, a business owner. I mean, goodness. So how did you get to owning your own business? How did you get there?
Yeah, thank you for asking that. So basically, I graduated back in like 2008 from college, right? And that was sort of the time where you literally could not find a job anywhere with a college degree. And I remember like going through literally like over 200 applications, where each one had a, you know, an intentional cover letter, each one had a fancy resume, went through the career coaching, the practice the interviews, and still like it was impossible for us at that time to get a job. So I ended up with my degree in, I ended up sort of doing reception work for many years and transitioned eventually into tissue donation, where I would learn how to navigate conversations on the phone moments after people had died, like with their family, to talk about donation, like talk about, okay, like, do you want to consider donation of your loved ones, tissues, eyes, the whole gamut. So yeah,
almost immediately after.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're talking like within an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did that for a year, but my boss was not that great of a guy. He was really difficult. So I started thinking about like, what could I do on the side? And so I started my own cleaning company, and naturally just started telling people that I'd clean their house. And I'd cleaned houses my whole life. My mom would come home from work after school, and she'd do the double checking. She'd lift things up if we, you know. Yeah, she went. That was my mom. Like, we would be in so much trouble if we did not clean to her standards. So that was just something that I could naturally do. And
so wait, I have a question. Did she check how the beds were made with the folding corners? Because I fail every single time.
That was always really hard cleaning homes when they had those big duvet covers. Oh my gosh, so crazy. But yeah, so I started this cleaning company and it explodes, right? And then we move across country, and long story short, I ended up selling that company after I had managed like 12 cleaners remotely for about 2 years. And I thought, well, maybe I'll try this like online. Maybe I'll try to sell a product online. So I sold over 6 figures of clothes online within 7 months. And I thought, okay, like this is cool. Like maybe this online thing is like a decent way to make money. So, but I was like, I don't want to just schlep product online, right? So I was like, what's my natural ability? Okay, it's connecting with people, it's sales, it's sort of that digital, it's sort of marketing in general. And I started coaching people literally like all over the world, where they're like, I love what I do, but I just can't navigate that sales talk. I don't know how to say, what to say it. I care about my relationship, don't want people to feel used, but I need to make money still, right? So I was able to take sort of that telemarketing experience, the crisis hotline experience, and help women really rethink sales in their business as like a collaboration, less of something that you do to people, right? So it's been amazing, and it's like the best business ever. Like, it's my favorite.
That is, you literally have created your own path based on your experiences. Took what worked for you, what you loved, and had a family and moved and got married and did all of this while life was happening. I mean, do you realize how incredible that is?
Like, I hear it, but like, it's really hard for me to celebrate. You know what I mean? It's sort of like, as a high achiever, as somebody who always wants more, like, it's really hard to feel satisfied with what you're doing. But like, I think there will be a time where I'd be like, okay, wow, that was pretty amazing. So I honestly feel like, I was just telling John this the other day, that sometimes I feel like the hardest things I've had to get through is like when I had an ear infection raising all the kids. Like everything else feels easy compared to like that time I had an ear infection and I didn't have a babysitter. You know?
Oh gosh, that is incredible. It's all about perspective, right?
Yeah, that's really funny.
Oh gosh. Okay, so now you're here in Alabama. Is it humid there right now?
Yeah, it was so nice today. That's the thing. Like if you're from the Midwest, like it's literally winter for like 9 months. It's freezing. Like it's crazy. And here I can't even, it's awesome. I love the South.
Oh, that is so good to hear. I'm a big fan of the South too, and the Southern hospitality. And just, it's kind of a slower pace compared to other areas of the country, but it's still, I don't know, it's just really comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree.
So, Hey Shana May, I love it. So that's your website.com. How did you come up with that? It's just like a catchy name, or?
Yeah, my stepdad actually calls me that all the time. And I sort of knew that like, it was just with my experience with marketing that you need something to stick. You need something to stick for people to remember. And my name is Shawna, and sometimes it's really hard for people to spell. So Hey Shana May just naturally just came just because that's what my stepdad calls me, and I knew that it was something that would stick well.
It truly does. It just rolls off my tongue. Every time I say Shawna, I just really want to say, Hey Shana May. It just goes.
Yeah. Good. So it works.
It does. Yes. So this is probably a really broad question, but through everything and just so much life experience. And I mean, your stories are amazing. And I mean, if anybody goes and clicks on your webpage, HeyShawnaMay.com, you have put your stories into your website, and it's incredible to read through those. Following you on Instagram and Facebook. And I mean, when you pop up, you know, you're going to pop up with something good, and just kind of sharing those life experiences with us, which is what I love. But what is one piece of advice that you think that you have received that really stuck with you throughout everything?
Oh, that's a good question. When I was first starting my businesses, like when I first started my cleaning company, I read a book, and the one thing that has really carried me through like my life and my businesses is that the only difference in your life a year from now will be the people that you meet. And so we sometimes think like we need to do more in our business to change things, or we've got to, push harder or do all these extra things. But if you can really leverage your one-to-one connections, your life can look vastly different from this year to the next. And that's totally how it's been for my life. Like my life looks totally different than it did last year or 2 years ago. And that is often because of the people that I meet. And I'm only able to do what I do because I have amazing connections. It's sort of like we're all sort of in network marketing, no matter like what field you're in, because you still have to do business with people. And so that really resonated with me, it resonated with me like 10 years ago and has really carried me through in my business. And I definitely believe that has been the epitome of my success, is because the only difference in your life a year from now are going to be the people you meet. And I have just met the best people, and they helped me through so much. And it's like, I love people. So
I love it. And it goes on in your heart, in your soul, when you talk and when you are communicating with people. I mean, it's those genuine relationships. And I mean, you live your talk. You walk your talk. So yeah. So then when you have to look back, did you ever envision yourself to be here, with such a successful business, living in the South and 5 kiddos and just this life that you created? I mean, that's so inspiring for somebody who's like, gosh, I feel like I'm stuck in a rut. I don't know what to do. I hate my life. I mean,
I definitely feel like that sometimes too, like I definitely, especially when you have 7 kids or you have 5 kids in 7 years, and everybody's like, oh, it's just a season. It's like, no, like actually this has been going on for almost a decade. Still changing diapers for like a decade. So I definitely can relate to that. Some things, yeah, you do feel like you're stuck in a rut. But if you're really sort of, in that place where you're just like, I'm not sure like what to do with my life, like just really ask yourself, like, what is calling me right now? Like, rather than like, what's my calling and how can I chase that? Because like real life sort of happens in between. And if you're not moving towards what calls you, like, you're just going to stay there. And so that changes, right? Like I've said, like I've had all different kinds of things because my life continues to change and my circumstances are different. So I have to naturally be able to go with the flow. And so I would really ask yourself, like, what is calling you right now, right? And maybe that's, a cleaning company, or maybe that's, a digital marketing opportunity, or maybe that's, schlepping product. I don't know. But it's just, if you can really ask yourself, like, what is calling me right now, I think you'll be able to move in that direction rather than sort of push through something that doesn't work for your life right now.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that, you go through different similar phases of life. Why put yourself into one corner where this is the only thing you have to do for all, 150 years? Why not be open to what's calling you right now versus what's the one thing that I'm meant to do? Because multifaceted people, I mean, there's so many of us out there.
I definitely think that has really attributed to just like having many kids, that like you literally can't be rigid. Like you're not going to survive. You're literally not going to survive if you just think you can push through and like, build your life while you have all these other lives to take care of. And so I just have never really resonated with the whole, like, create your life. Like, if you can really move towards what's calling you in that moment, like calling you right now in this moment, like you're going to have the most impact rather than forcing something that like doesn't work for your life.
Yeah, you're so right. Oh, such good stuff, Shawna. So you are just like a resource of information though. And I know that you're a big reader. One thing that we didn't talk about, which I don't know, I heard something today about podcasts, and I don't listen to many podcasts, but I should. Do you have any favorite podcasts?
Oh my gosh. Okay. For drama and like daytime soap operas is The Juicy Scoop by Heather McDonald. I do like sort of pop culture, like gossipy celebrity news. So I definitely think that show is pretty funny. And but if you're going for something like business-esque, I do like podcasts. So what would be a really great one? I really enjoyed The Brand Story by Donald Miller. That's one that I always highly recommend. And I Love Marketing with Joe Polish and Dean Jackson. And I've shared this story before, but when I had my cleaning company, I didn't even know that podcast exists. And they were one of the very first shows that I would listen to from beginning to end. And when everyone was teaching you how to sell products, I was in this cleaning service industry that nobody really taught you how to sell a service. And Dean and Joe are both a carpet cleaner and a real estate agent, and talk to you about how, like, before internet, how they really grew multi-million-dollar businesses based on like referrals and networking and like direct response marketing. And I just love them. Every episode gets better, and they've been doing it for years. And now they're like, head honchos, but best podcast ever.
Oh, such good information. Thank you. And I think I talked over you over the pop culture one. What was the name of the first one?
Heather McDonald with Juicy Scoop. It's sort of my indulgence.
Nice. Cool. Well, I know that I can give you probably 5,010 different red bra moments I see from the outside, but I would like for you to share, we kind of talk about a red bra moment, and, that's just really just kind of mustering up whatever it is to do something that maybe, when you mentioned something about fear, and you embrace being embarrassed isn't a big thing for you, right?
Yeah, I definitely believe that not being embarrassed is a superpower. So if you can get past your fear of an embarrassment, I'm telling you, you're going to be able to do anything and everything. And quickly, right? Because everybody's sort of a beginner. And so there's sort of this beginning phase where like everything is really crappy. So if you can move sort of through the crap, like it doesn't matter, because you know that you're going to keep getting better, but you've got to remove that fear of embarrassment. And so definitely, like, I mean, it's still sort of scary putting yourself out there, and it's still sort of scary doing new things. But like, yeah, I would definitely say my fear is, or my superpower is, I'm not afraid to be embarrassed, right? Because like, it literally doesn't matter. It literally does not matter, right? So
yeah,
that's profound.
No, really, you made it so simple. You're like, I ask myself, what's the worst that can happen? Okay, no problem. Let's do it.
Absolutely. And again, this goes back to having so many kids. Is like, it's like, okay, do I get them? Do I have to put on all their socks and shoes? No. Like, they're like, literally, I can put them in the car without socks and shoes and they're gonna be okay. Like, what's the worst that could happen? Like,
exactly,
like nothing. And so, like, yeah, so again, so it's sort of like a mental shortcut for me that, like, do the kids all need their coats? Probably not. And if car breaks down, I'll just give them this dirty blanket. Like, just like
everything all figure outable. You can figure it out as you go, and you just can't, you just have to know that it happened. I love it.
Yeah, it did totally. And that's an interesting connection, because like, not talking about it now makes sense, but yeah, that is literally because just, I'm always asking myself, like, okay, the kid climbs a tree, like, what's, like, if he breaks his arm, we're still gonna be okay. So
oh, totally. Oh, well, girl, it was so good catching up with you. Thank you so much. We do close out every show with a quote, so I had picked one out for us, but mine is for you: be genuine, be remarkable, be worth connecting with. And you probably know who that's from, don't you?
I love that. That is so good.
Seth Godin. So I know, I don't know, that summarizes everything about you and just your natural ability to connect with people and just being so honest and genuine. So I love you, girl, and thank you for joining.
Thank you so much, Renee. Bye.
All right, guys. Thank you guys all for joining. If you follow us on Instagram, join the party over there at the Red Bra Project. We're going to do a post-show recap with all ways to connect with Shawna and some highlights from tonight's show. If you like what you've heard tonight, or you know somebody who could benefit from this, please give us a thumbs up or share away. And as Shawna says, Shawna A, ring that bell. I need to get with pop culture. I mean, I need to. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good night.